Hey, welcome back. We're back in Timberborn in our Whitepaw colony, and last time we put into motion some great suggestions from all of our comments, and I think they worked out pretty well. We've got a network going, we've got some extra haulers that we needed, and with the network, we've also got the ability to start picking up random stuff. We also put in a couple of farms here and there and got everything reconnected. This time, I'd like to take a look at a couple of things. One, we have a bunch of beavers that are just not doing well, and our medical beds are pretty much packed all the time. Not to mention, it looks like we've got broken teeth. So we're going to start with that. We're going to fill in this little area here, maybe with some more beds. We're going to start with those first. Actually, you know what? Let's put them maybe here. We'll go this way. Get 6 more of those in there. And then we'll get the tooth grinding stones there so that we don't have so many broken teeth. And hopefully that helps out the beavers so that we can get a couple more back. It looks like we're back up to about 15 unemployed, which is fine. There's plenty of stuff that we'll be putting them up to do. We also went ahead and I switched this to the crude saw blades because I noticed we were starting to get a little short on them here and there, and everything else is full. So we're going to work on that. We also need to get up here and get this taken care of so that this lake can stay good water most of the time. We're going to have to figure out how to deal with the bad water from here. We might get part of the way through that today, we might not, but let's at least start with connecting it in. I want to go from this one here, and we're going to add a connection here. Let's go ahead and we're going to zipline pylon. Can I get one up in the hills? How far up can I put it? It looks like maybe... Nope, not there. How about here? What about here? That's not bad. Let's put one here, and then we'll go all the way across here. Just seeing where they'll connect to. Will you connect to there? Yep, you sure will. How far down? Let's go there. And in line there. There we go. You can go there. And you're just out of range there. What about... Alright, how about there? And then we'll do the station. How about... maybe here in the corner? There we go. Let's connect them all back together. There we go. All the way across, and down, and into there. They're going to definitely need some paths to get over there, though. So, let's go ahead. We'll put stairs there. And that should give us access to that one, and this one here. From there, we'll go ahead, we'll put in some stairs here, out underneath, over to here, over to there, grab one more set. Do I need one or two more sets of stairs? Let's find out. There's one. And yeah, they should be able to build from there. So that will get us connected in all the way over to here. Hey, they've already got one in. They're doing all right there. Then we can start bringing up dynamite to start clearing this out, but that's going to take a minute. Something else I keep forgetting to do, I keep forgetting to go ahead and get this storage in here. So let's go ahead, fix that real quick. In fact, we'll say that this is the most important thing. That way we can take power, we can come out this way, and then we can even turn right here, back into that. There we go. We'll pause those until the other ones are done. That connects this in with the extra one. We should probably change one of these back here. I want to keep that because we definitely need the sawdust. We're behind on that. Which screw press axle is almost... neither one is great. All right, we'll keep an eye on our planks and just see how it goes. We do need to replace these eventually, but I have started on the large water wheel blueprints. Are we out of pencils? We shouldn't be out of pencils. Let's see. Where did we put the vampire stakes? Well, looks like we might be. We are working. Looks like we just got done with the balloon there. So let's go ahead and switch that over. That's still working on dynamite. Are we still making nitro here? No. So tell you what, we'll make a whole bunch of pencils all at once. Get that filled back up. I guess they got used up whenever we made comic books. So the next one that's coming out, we've got gears, we've got large water wheel. So we'll set these for large water wheel, and we'll just wait for those to get replicated a couple of times. Do we need any of these? We'll need the Grand Dam eventually. Maybe the irrigation tower, but we don't need them quite yet, so we'll have them keep working on the scaffolding. I noticed last time I could make this field even bigger if I wanted to, and I do think I want to, so let's go ahead. We'll put in a couple more dynamite here and there. There we go. That will let them plant out a little bit more, and I think that's as far as that one gets. It is. I could probably cut in here. In fact, let's go ahead and plant all of this. Oh, and then here's some more dynamite that can go in. It can probably plant behind the house. We'll take the lotuses whenever they're done, and we can harvest all of those and make some different stuff. I'm noticing we have a bunch of rice over here that we need to harvest, and it's just not getting harvested. So what I would like to do here is we're going to take another one of these, and if we put one maybe here, we take a road down that way. There we go. And then, is that too far to connect to here? It's just slightly too far. Maybe if I put it on the other side of the road, it will let me hopefully connect it in there. Let's see. Let's grab you. And there. Is that close enough? Nope, that's not much better. If I do maybe here? Sometimes, nope, still slightly off. Okay, well, we'll just do this in the right spot, or the spot that we wanted it in the first place, which is here. We'll say don't replant this, this, or this. And once those are cleared, we can put stairs in so that they can get to that. However, we're going to need another connector point in here. And it should just be a regular one. That should be able to reach both. Yeah, that'll do. Let's go. You can go there. You can go there. That'll get us connected in here. And then let's see. You should be able to farm out of this. They can farm out of all of that. They can already farm out of all of that. It looks like it's going to have to be built before we can find out if they can actually farm out of it or not. But they should be able to. In fact, I wonder if some of these going through different means here can now farm out of these as well. Because then we could turn this into a place for, I would say, maybe some more sunflowers, because we seem to be a bit low on those. Started getting the nenuphars from here, so what I'm going to do is we need some storage, which should not be terrible to get. We'll just grab another one of these. We'll put it here, since it should be relatively close, and we'll store that. However, we don't have much we can do with them until we get something that actually cooks with them. We could do the mechanized kitchen house and make ourselves a bunch of soup, but that requires the flowers. So you know what? We might just go ahead and we'll put in a tea lodge somewhere. Where do we want this tea lodge? Just about anywhere should be fine. You know what? I'm going to put it right in the middle, too. It won't let me put it on the ground, though, it looks like. That's too bad. Well, what we can do there is we will just put in whole bunch of platforms. And we will put in that tea lodge. In fact, I don't know that I need too many. I just need enough to hold the actual building up, right? Let's find out here. Tea lodge. Make a nice kitchen house. Let's do this. Yeah, more or less we just need that. But I could face it the other way. And at least they would have something interesting to look at. Now, how noisy that is, I don't know, but I'm sure they'll still stop by. So let's go ahead and see if we can get the tea lodge. There we go. That'll work just fine. And then we will have to put in a road underneath. This eventually might get moved because it's not the best place for it, but it is a place for it. So let's take that out. Let's say that's high priority. And then we'll set this for the fried rice. Because is anywhere else doing fried rice? No, it doesn't look like it. We've got a couple of things, but nothing for fried rice. So we'll get that put in there, and they can start having some better food. Our line finally got put in along the back there. We'd been waiting for ropes for a while, and I think ropes were low on because we're low on fibers, I think they're called. Plant fibers, yep. And the only way to get fibers is still through the florist, which is kind of strange. So we'll figure that out eventually. But now that this is here, we can look into getting some other stuff. I am going to need a bunch of tar at some point for this. Am I switched to tar? No, I'm switched to the brain boosting salts. So let's go ahead and switch to tar for now. And we should being the key word, be able to start on some of these other things for the moment. Now that we've got this down here, let's go ahead and figure out our dynamite configuration that we're going to need. I want at least 3 behind all of these, just to give it enough room to actually breathe. And then we're going to come in this way, and we're going to go out this way, but I'm going to leave that one for now. And then here, I'm going to come out 1 extra and do... well, we'll do 3 this way, because we'll put in... the gates are all 3 wide. So, same thing here. I want to make sure that I come out 1, and then I go 3 over, and we can put a gate in there. And then we'll come over 3 here as well, and put 1 in there. So, let's also take a road around. Then whenever we're ready to blow it up, we should be okay there. It'll just take them a minute to set that up. But with this, getting them there pretty quick, hopefully it doesn't take them too long. I have a bit of a trick. Since we're taking care of this, we're going to have to take care of this as well at some point. So that means I'm going to have to get up here one way or another. So we'll go ahead and set this up. And we'll plan to get up here, and then eventually we will somehow block this off and put a floodgate up here. And we'll put a floodgate here and just have the bad water pour off the back of the map here. That way, only good water should be flowing down through here and eventually through here, which we might turn this into some sort of power source at some point. But I'd like to get this up here done first. Over here, we're slightly out of range of gathering this with where that's at. As you can see, we can come over here, but they're right on the edge of that. So I'm going to take this, and we're just going to move it down. Can I put you... I don't know if I want to put you there. Let's put you here. That'll give you a little bit more. Let's say take out all these trees here. And then we'll just... we'll leave that connected till they build this, and then we'll take that out and reconnect that here so that they can start getting that metal for us. Something else I thought of, we've still got plenty of extra beavers, so what if I were to take a farmhouse and we put it here next to this? Actually, it looks like I'm going to have to move this up just a bit, aren't I? We put the road here. We destroy this section of the road. There we go. Oops, that's got to go on that side. There we go. We put our farmhouse in here, our regular farmhouse. There we go. And then let's say we get another hauling tower, because eventually we're just going to need a ton of hauling towers. Let's go with forestry upgrade. There we go. Sits right on there just perfectly. And then to get up there, again, let's just do platforms, a 2. Can't quite do a 2 straight into it, but we could do a 2 with a small bridge. And then we just do platform. And there we go. Stair, stair, right into it. And now this, let's see if we can get them to go ahead and plant some sunflowers, because we need a decent amount of those. There we go. We'll focus on sunflowers, and hopefully whatever zipline comes in and out, these guys can help them harvest all of that. So we should have that, and we should hopefully have this one here since it's plugged in as well. Speaking of which, looks like we've got a couple more dynamite down here that we can use to toss this in. They've finally got those bridges in. Let's take those out. And we'll do this. Now, that should be able to plant most of those. My question is, can this pick up much through the network? No, does not look like it, unfortunately. So we might have to figure some stuff out there. Eventually, we might trade some of these out for balloons so that instead of just one long network, it can become more of a web and they can have more distance. But right now, we're just picking up the nenuphars. And to use the nenuphars, not only can we use this, is it not connected in there somehow? It says it does not have any paths, which is strange. Do I need to put a path? Oh, I need to put a path up there to it. There we go. Now they can get their fried rice, which they don't have any of at the moment. So we're definitely going to need all of this rice that's right here. Speaking of which, yeah, that looks like they can help out with most of this field and probably a good deal of this rice once we finally get it all down and we put the wooden stairs in there. I think I'm going to use a good deal of my power here to pull in the assembly line, because that will let me make a lot of the things that I have some beavers wrapped up in over here. Not to mention it will free up the anvil that I get from our, what is this called again? Our primitive ironworks. So that way we can move on with some other stuff. We're going to go ahead and put that assembly line in here. I should be able to make most of those things. Let's make sure the door is connected there. There we go. And then as for the power supply, it looks like it's the same old thing here where we've got one of these. Yep, there we go. Is that that's a T section? Okay. That should work. And then that'll go in there. And we can start making some of this stuff much faster and easier once we get that factory in. Our farm over here is doing pretty well. It's got plenty of nenuphars, but the gatherer that's linked through the network here is not really pulling in stuff as quickly as I hope. So what I think I'm going to do is let's grab another one of these gatherers. We'll set it up over here for now. And we'll use that. We'll tell them to go ahead, go down in there. Let's get in a couple of stairways here so they can get down there. And then they can start gathering some of the lotus for us. May not be the most efficient way to do this, but at least we'll have the flowers. And then we can actually start making our rice here that I just noticed we need lotus flowers for. While I was looking around, I thought it was probably a good time to actually start using some of the nenuphars. So what I generally do with all of my extras of those is I just toss them in, maybe here and there. We're going to make the methane out of them. There we go. And that will allow us to save up some methane. We're going to need some storage for it, though, which should be this gas tank here. In fact, where do we want to put that? We might just put you here. There we go. And we'll let that fill up, and maybe, just maybe, by the time we need a ton of that, we'll have some extra going out. We'll just make sure to set that there. There we go. And then we'll set it as a lower priority, because right now we're being held up by tar, so that's definitely going to take us a couple to get to. They've got the dynamite in on one side, which is good. We'll go ahead and take that out of there. There we go. And we can tell them to go ahead and put in the water gate there. Let's see, we want... Here's our floodgate dam. We'll go ahead, we'll put that right there. Yep. And then here... do I need to come over one more? That is going to have to go... That should work. It'll still block everything. So we'll tell them go ahead, set up for these three, and then it'll block that. When it's down, it'll go all the way that way. We'll have to probably get the mod that auto raises and lowers those. Otherwise, we might have to do it ourselves, which I'm not really looking forward to, but there are other options we can get possibly later in the game. But I think that's going to do it for this time. We've started working on our health there. We've got our little extra health area in here. We went ahead, got some new resources, pulling in those lotus flowers, and we're set up to get a little bit of methane. We can't build the gas tank. I overlooked that the metal blocks need built. So next time we'll look into maybe getting what we need once this is built, and we can demolish our primitive ironworks for the factory that makes the blocks. But until then, just want to say thank you very much for stopping by, and hope to see you next time.